Minister, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and I'd like to add my own very warm welcome to the ACCA Singapore Annual Conference 2018. So this annual event has become a significant date in the national business calendar, and it's ACCA's opportunity to take stock of what's expected of the profession in Singapore and of our members. And we're delighted to see so many of you here with us today. I'd like to say an especially warm welcome to our ACCA members who are here today, trusted professionals who play an important part in the sustainability, vibrancy and competitiveness of this amazing country. So in my short session, I'd like to set the scene by talking about the accountancy profession's place in the world. As the world of work changes, a key and persistent question is just how relevant are our established professions in a new and fast-changing occupational landscape? And my answer would be, if a profession is fixed and unbending in the face of vast, rapid and complex change, it absolutely risks becoming obsolete. But if it's able to respond in an agile way to the most pressing issues of our times and is visionary enough to constantly develop itself to anticipate global changes, a profession can be more of an engine of progress and a true force for good than ever before. In examining the leading role our profession can play, I'd like to talk about the three dimensions ACCA is particularly paying attention to as we aim to rise to the challenge, the relevance challenge: the digital dimension, the social dimension, and the ethical dimension. But first, why is this so very important at this point in time? Above all, because making progress in these areas is a shared concern for the global community. The UN Sustainable Development Goals to 2030 are an explicit recognition from the world's governments that we are not moving forward quickly enough. As a global civilization, we're at the most technologically and scientifically advanced we have ever been. But ironically, that progress is not benefiting all global citizens equally, and we are becoming increasingly divided. In spite of the heightened awareness of the issue, global income and progression inequality continue to rise. Last year, 82% of new wealth created went to the top 1%, and perhaps even more shockingly, 0% went to the bottom 50%. 50% of the global population live on between $2 and $10 a day. And at the current rate of progress, the World Economic Forum estimates that it will take 217 years to close the global gender pay gap, which I don't think we've got time to wait for that. The first and second industrial revolutions of the 18th and 19th centuries propelled working people into new, stimulating, and more economically stable occupations, creating new professional class. These new professions, such as accountancy, acknowledged above all that advancement should be on the basis of merit and talent alone. And ACCA is, we believe, the foremost example of this, founded on our core values of opportunity, diversity, innovation, accountability, and integrity. Our latest fourth industrial revolution is seeing huge technology advances in a number of fields, including robotics, AI, nanotechnology, quantum computing, and biotechnology. And while these technologies have great potential to continue to connect billions more people to the web, to dramatically improve the efficiency of business and organizations and help regenerate the natural environment through better asset management, these inequality statistics show that it is not happening equally across the planet. Against this background, it's therefore more important than ever that the profession shows how it is contributing to a better and fairer world. There has been a lot of talk about how AI and robotics could make jobs and entire professions obsolete. And it's been assumed by many outside the profession that this must apply to accountants. But the reality is much more interesting and exciting than that. Our 2016 project, Generation Next, we carried out the largest ever survey of opinions of those under the age of 36 in the profession, covering 19,000 ACCA members and future members. With increasing attention on the application of robotic software across the profession, this is a generation who inevitably expect to see more automation taking place. They fully anticipate some displacement of more routine-level roles across the profession, but importantly, they also recognise that technology will enable finance professionals to focus on much higher value-added activity. They very much see automation as an opportunity rather than a threat. What our members and students recognise is that they have greater opportunity to influence their organisations and lead the way with technology. This could be in terms of improving business processes, driving better knowledge collaboration, influencing employment models and the working at home agenda, virtual working, or shaping future learning interventions. So as we go forward, we expect a finance and accountancy profession increasingly defined by collaboration between smart people and smart tools. And we'll be exploring this in more detail during the course of today's conference, including through the launch of our brand new research report on market demand for professional business and advisory services in Singapore, ASEAN region and China, which has been supported by the Singapore Accountancy Commission. The inequalities I highlighted earlier point to a global failure to develop people to their full potential. And this represents a massive, underutilised resource of talent and ability. And this is an inclusivity issue that exists in both developed and developing economies. From our work across the world, we see that there is abundant talent in every culture across genders, ethnicity, and background. It just needs to be uncovered and nurtured so it can shine. Paying attention to the social dimension also affects the bottom line. There have been increasing numbers of studies that show the positive impact of diversity, particularly at management level, on a company's profitability. That a company with a more diverse representation in senior management is likely to be more profitable is not breaking news. These realities came to light in a 2015 report from McKinsey & Company and another a year later from the Pearson Institute for International Economics. The latest 2018 report from McKinsey, Delivering Through Diversity, shows that gender diversity in management positions increases profitability even more than previously thought. In McKinsey's previous analysis, companies in the top 25th percentile for gender diversity on their executive teams were 15% more likely to experience above average earnings. The latest data shows that likelihood has grown to 21%. But creating and championing diversity is not just good business sense, it's also the right thing to do. And it's also clear that how advanced the capabilities of an economy's entire workforce are will determine how competitive it is able to be in the future. For all the transformation change we're seeing, the core tenets that underpin the accountancy profession still remain. Ethics and professionalism have always been central to the role that professional accountants play. And research we conducted last year shows that almost 9 in 10 professional accountants agree or strongly agree that ethics will become more important in a digital future. This year, to recognise this, ACCA has introduced further important innovations to how we educate and train ACCA members with a new Ethics and Professional Skills module, focusing on developing the complete range of professional skills employers need now and in the future. As automation increases, sound ethical judgment will become extremely important for senior decision makers to ensure that innovation and digital adoption is supported in a way that doesn't compromise proper behaviour. The bottom line is that technology has an impact on the details one needs to understand in order to be ethical, but it doesn't reduce the importance of being ethical. In fact, it increases it. And we shouldn't underestimate how much this is needed. Edelman's well-regarded 2018 global survey into public trust in institutions showed very clearly that the public expects global business to lead in generating confidence. 64% of the global public said that CEOs and business leaders should take the initiative on positive change rather than waiting for it to be imposed. That's a significant challenge for business, but it's also a massive opportunity to build trust and demonstrate inspirational leadership. And these are opportunities for our entire connected profession. We'll only be able to maximize them by working together across economies, geographies, and disciplines to make a difference. As a global financial hub, Singapore and its professional accountants will be at the forefront of meeting this challenge. The flows of information, the exchanges of opinion, know-how and innovation will be more critical than ever. And as ACCA, we believe we're in a unique position to help our members and our partners assimilate that information and derive maximum benefit from it to help drive both Singapore, the wider ASEAN region and the global economy further forward on the right, sustainable and responsible way. As today's conference highlights, we're already a connected and interdependent profession, not just across ASEAN, but across the world. For ACCA, we've been able to see this illustrated through the fantastic response from our members to our ongoing campaign celebrating reaching 200,000 members globally. That campaign has celebrated every single member and their unique contribution, because every single professional accountant makes a difference, individually and collectively. And so we're delighted, and I hope you've seen it, that our global wall showing the names of all our 200,000 members is here with us today, so our ACCA members in Singapore can find themselves and celebrate their own part in the ACCA story. And we'll be celebrating the global family of the profession again later this year, when ACCA is very proud to be the gold sponsor of the World Congress of Accountants in Sydney this November. The event is a wonderful opportunity for the entire profession to come together and help build a better, fairer, and more resilient global economy. And I hope that some of you will be able to join us there too. So for now, we have a packed and exciting set of conference sessions for you to enjoy. It just remains for me to thank you for being here today, and to wish you all a wonderful conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Brand.